Hi, I'm Aldwyn Altuney.
And I'm Michael Thompson.
And welcome to
another episode of Movie Review TV. Movie Review TV. We see films as they are. Rate them out of 5 stars. Movie Review TV.
Yeah.
Movie Review TV.
Oh, well done, Michael. That was excellent. Excellent guitar play there. That
as always.
Original song there, Michael.
Thank you very much. I'll do applause.
Thank you, thank you. And today we are going to be reviewing a very, very powerful film called Breathe. And I would love to tell our beautiful viewers all about
Why don't you tell
Breathe?
them?
Yes, I will. I'll tell them all about Breathe. So thanks for watching. Now, a little bit about Breathe. Breathe is a 2017 biographical drama film directed by Andy Serkis from a screenplay by William Nicholson. This is an inspiring true love story about an adventurous couple who refuse to give up in the face of a devastating disease. Adventurous and charismatic, Robin Cavendish has his whole life ahead of him when he is paralysed from the neck down by polio in 1958, while in Africa he's only 28 years of age and given just months to live. Against all advice, Robin's wife Diana and her twin brothers bring him home from hospital, where her devotion and witty determination inspire him to lead a long and fulfilled life. Together, they refuse to be limited by expectations and dazzle others with their humour, courage, and lust for life. With help from the groundbreaking ideas also of inventor Teddy Hall, Cavendish emerges from the hospital ward and devotes the rest of his life to helping fellow patients and the disabled. Their heartwarming celebration of human possibility marks the directorial debut of Andy Serkis. So Andy's first film that he directed, and it runs for nearly 2 hours. Quite a long film, Michael. What did you think of Breathe?
It's 2 hours worthwhile taking out in your life, put it that way. This is a very affecting drama, it is. And it tells you something about, the history of medicine that probably not a lot of people know about. The first mobile respirator wasn't at Aldwyn. And sort of, so because obviously people just confined to hospitals where if they had polio in the past. And this guy helped, develop, mobile, wheelchairs, didn't he? With the respirator attached, which they couldn't do before, which is an innovation in medicine. It is, and the film starts off nicely. It sort of builds as it goes along. Tells you about the background story of what led up to, he contacted polio in Africa. He did actually after him. He just got married and they moved to Africa from England. And at the start, there's a very nice scene where they're at a cricket match, and they catch each other's eyes.
Yes.
The two main characters, and obviously they fall in love and get married, and move to Africa. So that sets up the whole film from there, because he contacts polio one day. He does when he's I think he's doing some sort of outdoor activity, doesn't he? And he contacts the disease, which is a downer because that's pretty much a death sentence, isn't it? Basically, contacting polio back in the 1950s, it was pretty much brings your life to an end. Well, it did back in those times anyway, because they didn't at all have a cure, did they? All
well,
had to make the most of what they had from their lives.
Well, people didn't live long because they couldn't move. They're paralyzed completely from the neck down. They couldn't even breathe for themselves. So, what kind of existence would that be like for people who had polio? And what happened in this film is that the lead character defied all odds. And, after going through a period of wanting to kill himself, not wanting to be here, his wife standing for him and, being there for him every step of the way, that really in the end pulled him through. She stood for him and he said, well, get me out of here, then get me out of the hospital. And they found a way to get him out. They got him out on a wheelchair. Everyone was up in arms about it, particularly the guy that was running the hospital. They'd never heard of this happening before. And it turned out that, you know, he ended up being one of the longest living survivors of someone with polio, because he said he didn't just want to survive, he wanted to live. And by being in a wheelchair and getting out amongst nature and out amongst his friends, really helped him have that quality of life. It was quite a remarkable film, this one.
It was. He did have a sense of humour throughout the whole process too. So that's one of the things that kept him going.
Yes.
Throughout the time he had polio, I think it was how many years was it? At least 14 years,
something like that. Because the son had grown.
I think he had
since
he contacted polio to actually when he died. So it was that longer period that he had the disease and had to be connected to the respirator, wasn't it? So
yeah.
And initially, although he was just sitting in his bed at home, I didn't have the mobile, you know, chair option available. He had to invent that himself with the help of his friend, didn't he? So
yeah.
Initially, he just had the respirator by his bed side at home. So because they never heard of anything like that before, had they, at the hospital?
No.
Someone looking after themselves with polio.
No.
But he just wanted to get out of there.
He did.
He did. So he just obviously got one of the machines and just got his wife to operate it.
And it shows you the importance of having good people around you, you know, when you're facing a life-threatening disease or illness. It really is so important to have supportive, loving people around you. And I think that can make all the difference between wanting to end your life and wanting to actually make the most of your life, regardless of what life throws at you. And yeah, very, very interesting film. And you know, it kind of brings up the whole vaccination debate. You know, a lot of people say now, oh, well, it's good we've got vaccinations now because people don't get polio anymore, etc. So there's that kind of fear-mongering that goes on. But, of course, a lot of vaccinations now have all sorts of poisons in them. There are apparently homeopathic vaccinations that are okay, so you need to do your own research into that. But I'm not saying by any means that people should be all getting vaccinated because of polio or because of some of these things, whereas the, you know, governments are trying to enforce that. I think it should be up to the people what they put in their own bodies. But, you know, I couldn't help watching this film thinking, oh, is this film being made by people who are trying to push vaccinations, are pro-vaccinations? So because there's all sorts of subtle messages in the mass media and in filmmaking. So it kind of made me question that a little bit. And I do recommend that people watch a documentary called Vaxxed if they're considering vaccinating their child. VAXXED, that film, they wanted to ban that film. It's a documentary and a lot of very insightful facts in that documentary. So do your own research before jabbing anything into your body. And, you know, incredibly unfortunate at the time that polio existed as it did and that this happened to this man. However, what he did with his circumstances was really extraordinary and a very inspiring film. And I love films based on a true story. So this was my favourite genre of film, and really so powerful. There were moments when you'd laugh through the film because of some of the humour, that British humour. You know, I think British humour is some of the best in the world. That British humour that came through, as well as those really dark moments. I think they balanced the light and dark moments in this film really well with the filmmaking. And to be the debut for Andy Serkis, I think he did an exceptional job. So well done, Andy. And I think the lead characters, also very, very well acted film. And I think the screenplay was really good too. So 2 hours is quite a long film. There were moments probably there that they probably could have cut it back a little bit. I think it was, you know, it was a little bit drawn out in moments, but I guess they really wanted to get the experience across and the feeling across of how dark it can be when you're faced with a life-threatening illness.
Well, they wanted to create a proper story, obviously, and the longer the film, the more that you're going to put into it, more information that you're going to give to the viewers. Because how long does it take to read a novel? You get more out of a novel than what you do from a movie, obviously. So the longer that it goes, the more details that you're going to find out. And this is about history, isn't it? Based on actual factual events. So it's good to include all the details of the process of what happened to this guy. So, and this is the main character is Andrew Garfield, as has been said, and he played Spider-Man. So it's a completely different role from Spider-Man, obviously, because that's an action adventure hero, isn't it? So this is just a straight ahead English drama.
Yeah.
When I say English drama, you can pretty much picture it in your mind what it's going to be about. Sort of, you know, well, slow moving, I guess, at the start a bit, and sort of builds up from there. But it's necessary. It is just to give you a bit of background, you know, info that leads you into the film.
Yeah,
it sort of warms you into the you know, the main plot.
Yeah,
It does. I think it's good. Yeah, that happens. Actually, they did. I know they do that in English movies. They do especially. I like to draw things out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can have everything in there.
Yeah, especially when you those dark places, you know, that because he would have been in that dark place for quite a while where he wanted to kill himself after finding out that he couldn't move anything from the neck down and couldn't even breathe without a machine. I mean, to be hit with something like that when you're only 28 and you've got a wife and a young child, or a child on the way at that point when it happened, the wife was pregnant. You know, that would be absolutely devastating to deal with that. However, you know, the way that it was all turned around was really exceptional. It was really a beautiful, heartwarming story, a celebration of human possibility. And, you know, I came out and I thought, I have nothing to complain about. It's amazing what we whinge about in life. Isn't it, Michael?
Yep.
You know, I mean, not you and I, of course, people out there. You know,
we don't,
we don't, not you and I, but, you know, it's amazing, you know, how much we complain often about little things and, you know, we let little things get us down. And then when you watch this film, you think, Jesus, people out there who can't even breathe for themselves, you know, it really gives you a whole other level of gratitude for what you have in your life.
Well, this guy couldn't completely recover from polio, his illness, obviously, because there wasn't any cure. Back then, they didn't create a cure. It just made it a lot easier for people who had the disease. It gave them a lot more freedom, obviously, if you can actually move around on your own, doesn't it? Even though he still had to be connected to the respirator for the rest of his life. Didn't he? So
and
it gave him some sort of you know, freedom, extra freedom. It did, since he was made more mobile. So and there were a couple of heart-wrenching scenes, weren't there, in the film, like the hospital over in, I think it was Germany, where all the patients had to be confined to the containers. If you remember,
we basically walk through a room and you've got all these heads popping out of the wall. That was just horrendous.
They just contained them. They didn't know what to do. All
you could see was their heads popping out of the wall. It was just, and there were 3 layers of heads. Can you imagine? Those people wouldn't have lived long at all in those circumstances. That's, just horrific compared to him walking in, or actually rolling in a wheelchair. And for them to see him in a wheelchair, I mean, how would that be? And of course, he was ordered straight out by the guy that ran that institution. But they'd never seen anything like it. So, you know, I guess it takes a small group of thoughtful people to change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has, as Margaret Mead once said, and I have that quote at the bottom of all my emails. And I truly believe that, you know, just one great idea can really help change lives. And it certainly did for the lead character in this film.
He made the most of what he had, didn't he, with his disease, and and his wife, you know, basically gave up her own life, didn't she, for him?
She was
as
amazing.
Pointed out in the film, so
the wife was
she supported
so
him all the way.
She was so devoted. I mean, you think of people nowadays. Often people nowadays are not that devoted to other people. You know, people are way too quick nowadays to just end marriages and you know, and break up with people. But back then in the 1950s, they truly believed that they married that person, that was it for life. And I was really touched by how amazing and strong the wife was in this film. Really, it was just phenomenal to see that, and it gave me renewed faith in humankind to see that as well, because I guess when someone has a debilitating disease that comes into their life, it does affect all those people around them. So how are people going to be around them? You know, if you had a partner that suddenly ended up not being able to move anything from the neck down, what would you do?
So go and see this movie if you want to see a slice of medical history and about invention.
Inspiring. Such an inspiring story about what is possible when someone thinks outside the square. Anything is possible. Anything is possible, indeed. And
this film proves that, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely.
This guy gave hope to many who were suffering from the disease.
Yes, and he ended up speaking around the world, and he was so inspiring. We shouldn't give too much of the movie away, but yeah, very, very powerful film. What do you give it out of 5, Michael?
I give it 4.
4. I give it 4.5. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I give it 4.5. So cheers to the makers of Breathe, and remember to breathe.
We can breathe.
We can breathe, and we can appreciate breathing and be conscious about our breathing, and yoga's great for that as well, but we can cover that on another movie review episode. So be grateful for breathing.
I can do yoga. Right now, I'll do the yoga and you
I'm grateful for breathing, and I'm grateful for the movie Breathe because it was incredibly powerful.
5 Tibetan exercises. You know the 5 Tibetan exercises?
No, what's the 5
There's a yoga system called the 5 Tibetan.
Okay. No, I don't know that. Are you going to run us through the 5 Tibetan exercises?
For rejuvenation.
Okay.
It's supposed to lead to long life.
Okay.
It is, and
what
rejuvenation, you reclaim your youth.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about that anyway.
We won't go into detail, but just Google it, right?
But it makes you live, I don't know, forever.
Okay.
Well, it makes you younger. At least, put it that way. So you lose your wrinkles.
Okay.
You practice the 5 Tibetan exercises.
Okay.
Well, that's the myth behind it.
Right.
Don't tell me whether it's real or not.
In saying that, as long as you keep breathing, and if you can breathe deeply, and breathing does oxygenate the body as well. So I'd say
breathing is good for you. So breathe deeply.
Breathe deeply and breathe more, and be conscious of your breathing, and breathe from the diaphragm also, not from the chest. So be conscious to pull your breath down from the diaphragm.
At least you can breathe at all, unlike the guy in this film. So,
yeah. But it's a phenomenal, inspiring, true story, really heartwarming, a great celebration of life. Absolutely loved it. So check it out, Breathe. If you've seen the film, we'd love to see your thoughts and your opinions. What did you think of the film? Make a comment under this video, wherever you're seeing it. We'd love to see that. If you like what you've seen, share this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel Aldwyn Altuney, where you'll see all the other movie review TV episodes as well. And we would love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. Breathe. We're basically saying, to sum up, go see it.
That's right.
This is 4.5 stars.
That's right.
Out of 5.
Do it.
Which means 4 stars, which means very good.
4 is very good. 4.5 is exceptional. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Definitely go and see Breathe. It will really give you a new appreciation of life, of your life, because you are special and you are here for a purpose, and we all have a special gift to bring to the world. And this movie will help you have a new awareness and appreciation around that for yourself, and appreciate what you have. Be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, and more opportunities and more great things will come your way if you're grateful for what you have. And I'm grateful for Breathe, and I'm grateful for you, Michael, and our
Thanks
viewers.
Very much.
Thanks so much.
I'd be grateful for movie review TV.
Yes, I'm grateful.
Giving you all the goss.
We're giving you the goss behind the scenes here on the Gold Coast.
Blockbusters.
Here on the Gold Coast. And we'll be back soon with more movie review TV episodes. Thanks
Breathe.
For watching.
There's my ticket.
There's the ticket. Thanks
see
for
that?
supporting
Breathe.
us. There it is. Breathe. Yes, I can see
Breathe.
that. And that was at the Conrad Jupiter's. Well, it's not Conrad Jupiter's, it's Star Casino now. Used to be Conrad Jupiter's, the casino on the Gold Coast. And we watch the movies there, and we really enjoy it. They're awesome. So come along and come and say hello if you go to the movies at the casino on the Gold Coast, or just share this around if you're watching this from anywhere else.
You'll see us at the Star Casino Sunday and Monday. So.
And we won't be gambling because we don't gamble. We don't gamble. No. We don't even really drink much.
But we just love watching movies. That's the reason.
We will cheers to the makers of Breathe once more. Cheers to Breathe and breathing.
See how easy we breathe?
Yeah.
We need a bit of breath after this.
We do. We need a breath now. We need
This
to breathe it
review,
out.
so,
We do. So
there
we'll
we go.
catch you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.